All right, good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to the agenda. Your dose of insightful discussions on the issues shaping our nation and the world around us. I am Chike Obogu. I'm coming to you live from Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State. Yes, today on the agenda, we'll be diving into a hot button topic that has got everyone talking, and that's the recent coup attempt in our neighboring country, a neighbor country, the Republic of Benin. Yes, Nigeria's role in assisting to thwart that coup, and then what does all this mean for our own security challenges here at home? Well, with insecurity plaguing parts of Nigeria, especially from banditry to kidnapping, especially in the north and northeast Nigeria. How does getting involved in Benin's affairs impact on Nigeria? Well, this morning, joining me in the studio is a man who teaches generals how to think about peace. Yes, Dr. Ishola, Dr. Olushola Ishola. He is a senior lecturer at the Department of Peace and Conflict Studies, the University of Ibadan. Doc, welcome to the agenda. It's a pleasure to have you here again.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And I hope you still teach generals how to make peace.
Yes, we try our best.
Now, let's get straight to the point. Let's start from the beginning. For our audience to understand, and then for those who might need a quick recap, just 2 days ago, precisely on the 7th of December, there were attempted coup. There was an attempted coup in Benin Republic. Soldiers led by Lieutenant Colonel Tigri, yes, Pascal Tigri, stormed the national television station and announced the takeover and overthrow of President Patrice Talon of Benin Republic. But it was quickly thwarted by the government and loyal forces. But Doctor, can you walk us through what we should know about this event that occurred on Sunday?
Well, thank you very much. The event that occurred on Sunday was actually a shock to most people. But I don't know, maybe the intelligence community had an inkling of what could happen. I am not sure of that. But one thing I know is that it is probably a contagion effect to what happened in Burkina Faso, which is a neighbor to Benin Republic, and what happened in Niger, and even in Mali. And don't forget that all of those countries are French,
the athletes of France.
Of France. Yeah. So if it happened in Benin Republic, it may not be too shocking. But the shocking thing is the intervention of Nigeria, as if Nigeria was ready for it. And there are controversies around that, which I think
Do you think it was staged? Because of the swift response.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But don't forget that Nigeria is also a medium power in this region. And our intelligence community also would have anticipated such thing. And, that's probably the reason why they quickly made the move.
But what's really going on in West Africa? Especially when it comes to this issue of taking over power. Is it that democracy in West Africa no longer has a flavor? Or is it that there's something attractive in governance for the military?
No. The first thing that happened is the problem of insecurity that is pervasive in the entire region. As we are battling with terrorists, other countries are also battling with it. The difference is that the size of Nigeria makes our headache to be bigger. So, but what we are experiencing to some extent is also being experienced in other neighboring countries, even up to Ghana. But the thing is that they are more
Proactive.
yes, thank you, more proactive, and very hard on the terrorists and other potential
But we seem to be
criminals.
playing politics with us here.
We play politics, one, then the size of our country also, and then of course the terrorists have infiltrated us, especially in our political class, and that's why the military is having problem defeating them. When they want to make a final move to put an end, you just see instruction from somewhere,
From above.
and they are frustrated.
Well, that's interesting. And here's where Nigeria comes in. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu commended our armed forces for their role in protecting democracy, as it were, in Benin Republic. Reports also suggest that Nigerian troops or intelligence support may have been involved. But this morning it was confirmed because Burkina Faso, in the early hours of this morning, have arrested a fighter jet with 11 military officers, Nigerian military officers in Burkina Faso as it is now. Now, given, if you look at we and Benin Republic, given our shared border and our ECOWAS ties, what do you know about Nigeria's assistance? And then why would we get involved? Why should we get involved?
You see, that was the question I asked when I first heard that Nigerian armed forces had, gone to Benin Republic to assist. I say, on what authority? But later yesterday, it was disclosed that ECOWAS had actually given Nigeria, that mandate, and that is part of the role of ECOWAS. Nigeria cannot just go. That would be tantamount to invasion of a neighboring country. But Benin Republic is part of ECOWAS, and it is in the ECOWAS, mandate or regulation that when a member state is encountering such experience, that that the regional body could intervene and save democracy. You remember that we did that in Gambia during
during Yahya
Jammeh, when it was Nigeria just breezing over his house alone. The man just packed his load and moved. So for Nigeria to have intervened based on ECOWAS mandate, it's not surprising, because this thing is contagious. Even if there is no ECOWAS mandate, Nigeria cannot just open its eyes and let soldiers, do that.
So why didn't ECOWAS mandate Nigeria to quell whatever happened in Mali, to quell whatever happened in Burkina Faso? Why Benin Republic?
You see, there are a lot of issues involved in those other countries, especially in Niger. You remember that when Nigeria wanted to make a move, there were threats and all that.
Basically,
in that place. But this time around, Nigeria cannot afford it. Like I said, this is now a period when Professor Bolaji Akinyemi's projection is coming.
Yes.
We are a regional power, and we need some time to assert ourselves militarily, okay?
Within the region.
Yes, within the region.
But our house is burning.
But we have done that before in Liberia, in Syria, even in Ivory
that was
Coast.
then. But our house is burning.
That's how.
Then when we had that in Liberia, Sierra Leone, there were times where the Mitasini were not really pronounced.
Yeah,
they were almost decimated.
Yes.
By the military interregnum.
Yes.
However, now we have pockets of, terrorist groups, bandits, as it were. I don't know why they are called bandits, but they are supposed to be called terrorists, as
and
it
the
were.
reason why we are experiencing that is what we just discussed a few minutes ago, because of our internal problem, political, infiltration of the political class by elements supporting terrorists, because of selfish, and then resource Resources are also part of the problem. Now that Nigeria has just discovered some very interesting resources, all of this has mixed with politics and criminality at the same time, you know. And we don't want military, you know, interregnum, but we want the military to solve the problem for us at the same time. So we are really not sure what we want at this point in time.
But what I know, state.
Yes, exactly. But what I know is that a President Tinubu will not sit down while Benin is taken over by the military, because already Niger is already in the hands of the military. You know, whether we like it or not, also Chad is also going that way because of you know, whatever reason. So it cannot just stay idle.
So why did we get involved?
That is what I'm telling you, because there's what they call contagion effect. If care is not taken,
It might spread to us.
yes, that is it. Some guys might be encouraged in the military. You know, recently we had that rumor, whether it's true or not, but the government denied. But we know that something, you know,
fishy.
There can't be a smoke
Without some fire.
without some fire. That's probably the reason why President Tinubu will have to move. You know, and it's better for him to move now, before the story changes, because now that our troops and aircraft is in the hands of Burkina Faso, we have to resort to diplomatic efforts to pull them back. Because one thing I suspect is that, you know, Nigerian military may find it difficult because their previous practices may not be able to demarcate where the Benin border ends and where Burkina Faso begins, and that's why we made that error. And of course, Burkina Faso will also want to use that opportunity to also say, we are, even though you have suspended us from ECOWAS, but we have our own union and we can stand alone. So they will also put certain things forward in negotiation to release our aircraft and the crew, and the crew, as the case may be.
But do you think those negotiations might be too draconian for the Nigerian government to accept if Burkina Faso puts anything on the table? Considering the fact that they are in the military era, they have their own bloc, as it were. They might want to put up a negotiation that might be too difficult for Nigeria to abide by.
I don't think so, because the military is still trying to struggle for credibility.
In Burkina Faso?
Yes, they are still, in global environment.
Okay, globally.
Yes,
okay.
Global, because nobody encourages the military again, or anybody that disrupts a democracy, whatever it is. So they will still be struggling for that credibility. Okay, so that might also be come up during the negotiation processes. And then also, they may not want to be shut off completely from the region, you know. If that is the case, their future, one way or the other, may be affected. And don't also forget that most of those landlocked countries also depends on Nigeria and other, you know, countries that are nearer to the coast for their economic survival. So I don't think they will be too draconian.
Okay.
In the negotiation process.
Okay, so with our own insecurity vis-a-vis Boko Haram in the northeast, kidnappings in the northwest, and even separatist agitations in the southeast, does helping Benin Republic stretch our resources thin, or does it actually bolster our security?
I don't think it will stretch our resources as such, because at the end of the day, Benin Republic is just like one state in Nigeria, not even up to Lagos State in terms of the economy. Okay, so, but for our own security and for the sustenance of our democracy, it's better we do that. Because if you now encourage those military boys to now settle down in power, and it becomes another problem for us. And you know, those countries that are now running military government, most of them are former French colonies, and they are having issues. You know, I think what the Benin soldier is also trying to do is to also exercise that freedom at last from France. Because the military, used to be attached to French.
Yes, the French.
Yes, French military.
Force.
Yes, French military. Because most of the time you find French instructors in those countries, but they have expelled them at the end of the day. So that's newly found freedom. They will also try to exercise it, but there's bound to be excesses because they are not trained to govern. At the end of the day, they will create fresh problem in that country. And, just like I said, that contagion effect may also spread to Nigeria, and that's why Nigeria probably, is moving now. And the border is very thin. There's, virtually no difference between Nigeria and our Benue border because our economy is, in fact, they depend more on our economy. They don't have independent economy that we can say could actually stand alone beyond France. Okay, now that France has left most of those countries, Nigeria is in the center now, even of all of those other ones that are experiencing military
regime. Yeah,
presently.
Okay, we are live, and then on YouTube, we are live on Facebook. You can also drop your comments. Please drop your comments. Let's use the app X. Drop your comments via the app X at DominionCast. At DominionCast. Yes, drop your comments there. I'll be taking some comments in the course of the program. But let's pause here for a quick break. And when we return, we'll delve deeper into the potential ripple effects of Nigeria's economy and diplomacy. Stay tuned to the agenda.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back to the agenda. We're discussing the Benin coup attempt and its implications for Nigeria with Dr. Olushola Ishola. Doctor, let's talk economics now. I know you are not an economist, you are more of a mediator, but Benin Republic and Nigeria have strong trade ties. Think of the Seme border, fuel smuggling, and informal commerce. How might this political instability affect that? I know before we went on that break, you were talking about it at some point, but how will it truly affect it? Will it affect Nigeria's GDP? Will it affect Nigeria's market? What will it? Some have said if the coup was successful in Benin Republic, many Beninois would have sought asylum into Nigeria, are considering our porous borders, and then we don't know who is who. And some of them might just bear arms and maybe for the fight of survival, join some of these splinter groups that we have in Nigeria. But let's look at it with all these political upheavals in Nigeria. How do you think this instability, this political instability would affect Nigeria when it comes to the economy?
Yeah, it would have affected it to, a great extent if the coup had been successful. Remember that one of the first pronouncements that the coupists made was that they are closing the borders and everything. Even though it would have affected Benin itself negatively, because the economy is intertwined, but they depend more on Nigeria than Nigeria is depending on them. But it's good that Nigeria had made a move, because it's because of the cooperation that we have with the Benin government. That's why we are relaxed about that flank of the country. Unlike on the Cameroonian side, where we are fighting in the northeast, and occasionally those insurgents infiltrate from that side and the rest
to Adamawa, Taraba.
Exactly. To Yobe and the rest. Exactly. But we are more relaxed on this side.
On this side.
Because, we have a very strong hold on that government. But if the military now, comes in, they want to assert, some of their own,
decrees.
Yes. Yes, which will affect our control on that border and what comes in and what goes out. So, like I said, it will affect the economy on that side, but it will have more negative impact on Benin. But in terms of security, it will have more negative impact on us.
Okay, so let's talk diplomatically now. Nigeria's leadership in ECOWAS, as it is, it has been tested, especially when some of these countries in the Sahel, that's Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, when they withdrew from the ECOWAS bloc. Now,
no, they didn't withdraw. It was ECOWAS that suspended them.
Yeah, but Burkina Faso says he has left ECOWAS. It's no more remember. That's Ibrahim Traore. So, does this assistance to Benin Republic reaffirm our role as a big brother in ECOWAS, or is there going to be a backlash at the end of the day?
No, it's like you said, it asserts our role as the big brother, and that role is necessary for stability. If Nigeria is not playing that role, there would have been confusion since, like the example I gave, our intervention in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, in Ivory Coast, even in Gambia. If not for Nigeria, all of those areas would have, even recently in Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau, yes.
Yeah.
So we need that role. And every region globally needs, a power that will stabilize, and that's why America is even relaxed, because Nigeria is there, So they don't need to bother as such,
But it took it took Nigeria for America to put us on our toes.
Yes, of course, because of our own internal
Maybe the
security.
giant was sleeping.
Because of our own internal security. Yes, but it is not all negatively. I mean, all negative. Because if you notice, the Gulf of Guinea in the recent times is stable. Now, at least in the last 5 years or
Yes.
so, we have made sure that that side is stable. And America had moved away their ship of
base.
frigate,
Yes.
from that location. It is just for us to get our internal security right, and then we continue to play the role of big brother in the region. And those countries, those neighboring countries, needs it. Otherwise, there would have been confusion internally.
It's a case like the case of in one of the holy books that says a prophet has no honor in his home.
Yes.
Where we can't even fix home, but we prefer to fix away. It's like a football team that loves to win away, but cannot win at home.
I agree with you.
Is that what is happening to us?
Yes, I agree with you. I mean, that's why the global community itself is looking up to Nigeria. If we get our acts right, especially internally, I mean, Nigeria will fly. And you can't blame Nigeria. You know, we have so many individuals coming, strange individuals, strange bedfellows coming together to form a nation. That's why we are witnessing all of these issues that we are doing. And I'm happy that we in the western parts of Nigeria are trying to do a lot, especially our leaders here, in terms of security and the rest. If I mean, other parts of the country also get their securities right, then Nigeria will fly. So it's our internal security now that is our headache. And once we get it right, I think we fly.
You just talked about security now, and I want to ask this. Security is paramount. The Southwest, according to the Minister of Defense now, that's retired General Christopher Musa, he said the Southwest has tried as much as possible to work in unison and have a very good security architecture. And so you look at it as a regional thing. Many people have called for state policing, but don't you think that state policing might not work, but a regional policing system would work like what we have as Amotekun today is a regional police system? And then if we can replicate this in the Northeast, North Central, Northwest, we have these regions in Nigeria, Southeast, South, then we could have a better security architecture. Don't you think so?
Yes, I agree with you. But you see, not all regions are like the Southwest.
Okay.
For example, the North. Look at the number of ethnicities in that part of Nigeria. It's only the Northwest that we can say, you know, share a lot of similarities. But again, you know, there are parts of, you know, I mean, minorities, even in that Southwest. For example, in Kaduna State, the Southern Kaduna, you know, I mean, quite a number of ethnicities there, you know, as compared with the North. Even in Kebbi State, there are other minority, you know, groups. Yes. Much like the middle belt, Plateau, Benue, where you have radically different. You know. So that's why it will be difficult there. But we are lucky in the Southwest that we are predominantly Yorubas. So it's easy to rein, you know, ourselves together and say our security, you know, matters. And that is part of the problem that they are now experiencing now in Kogi and Kwara State, because they are neither here nor there.
But politically, they will be in the North Central.
Yes.
But when they want to get somewhere, they'll say Southwest.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay.
So those are parts of problems that we are experiencing, you know, in Nigeria. And all of that, you know, are actually working against our internal cohesion and security.
Now, talking about internal cohesion and security, with what just happened in Benin Republic, we have so many splinter groups of bandits, kidnappers, terrorists, and that. Do you think that what happened in Benin Republic would give these people some form of reaffirmation that, oh, we can keep doing what we are doing? I mean, these unscrupulous elements. Or do you think it will bring some fear to them that the country can quell something outside, meaning that they should get ready to be quashed?
Well, no, I mean, Nigeria has been able to rein in this part of our border with Benin Republic because of the cooperation we have with that government. But if the military now comes in and weaken that hold, you know, and that cooperation, yes, it can serve as encouragement to the criminal elements to now begin to infiltrate on the borders. But I think the most important thing that we need to pay attention to is in terms of how we manage our resources. Recently, I think the governors of the North got it right when they say, let us put a stop to mining in certain locations.
yeah.
Because those are the things that are fueling criminality.
And
in those,
banditry,
yes.
yeah.
And some elements who are benefiting from it don't want it. If they insist and we do it, I'm sure that all those banditry and and the rest will come down, because the resources with which they buy weapons, with which they carry out their activities are going to be diminishing. And that is why, those who are benefiting from it may not want it. But if Nigerian government really want to tackle the situation, it will begin from that aspect. Let us rein in the mining processes and prevent illegal mining, or stop it as the case may be, or reduce it, and then give the support to our military to be able to get rid of all those individuals, and those who are ready to repent among them, maybe to also encourage them to begin to repent. But the most important thing now is within our own people, our communities. These criminals live among us now. They are not the ones that are coming from other neighboring countries. Those who are carrying out the kidnapping and the rest, even though some of those information are, as to how they rescued those girls, are shrouded in secrecies. But there are some issues that pertains to their rescue and the rest, and we don't know how the government are dealing with those individuals who are carrying out the kidnapping, whether they are still giving them resources or whether they are dealing with them sternly. But I think dealing with them sternly will be the most important thing now to do, to prevent others from continuing in the dastardly acts.
On a lighter note, you mentioned the strategy for releasing some people, like what we got in the dailies today, that some girls, 100 girls have been handed over to, the released ones have been handed over to the Niger State governor. But that been issued out of 265. We're told that 50 students, on a lighter note, that 50 students escaped from the kidnappers or abductors. And then you want to ask, how will 50 students escape and their teachers were still held captive? How did they move? Who led them? Did they keep a track? Well, I think the government needs to tell us something.
Yes, a lot of things are kept from us.
Well, now let's go to our messages on the app X. Yes, keep your messages coming. On the app X at Abiodun AY_57. It says, Dr. Ishola, isn't Nigeria's assistance just another way for the government to distract us from our own problems? We can't even secure our schools. That's the question this person is asking. Let's take a question by question.
I think that's a very beautiful question. You see, it's an extension of keeping us safe. If we don't do anything about what's going on in Benin Republic, Benin Republic is just like a state in Nigeria. It's just that we are different politically and the rest.
Yeah, but it's a sovereign state.
It's a sovereign state, but mind you, the last two presidents of Benin Republic or Sefeba have Yoruba ancestry, and I'm not too sure that the current president Talon doesn't have Yoruba. It's like an extension of southwest of Nigeria. So we are so entangled together that we cannot afford to ignore what is happening in Benin Republic. So that is the situation. So as our security is also intrinsically connected with what is happening in Benin Republic. And that is why if our President Tinubu, probably I will also make the same move. Because if he is careless on that side, what we are experiencing in Northwest will eventually move to the Southwest. And that's why we cannot just shut our eyes. It's an extension of what is happening to us internally.
All right, well, interesting. Let's move on to some other questions here. On the app X, we have at times for D-Mark. At times for D-Mark. Yes, he's saying, what about the risk of retaliation? Could coup plotters flee to Nigeria and cause trouble here? That's the question this person is asking. Well, fear.
No, they dare not, because they know what Nigerian army could do to them. You see, the interesting thing is that some of these guys also trained in Nigeria, you know, especially in our defense college. So, I mean, fortunately, I've served on sabbatical in Nigerian Defense College before,
Wow.
and I know, you know, how many African countries are trained there, and the respect that they have for Nigerian armed forces. So, if you cross the border, I mean, your life is not guaranteed. They know that.
Okay. Well, still more questions. Just keep your questions coming. We have this from @legend_beep on. @legend_beep on. It says, Dr. Eshola, how can ordinary Nigerians contribute to reducing insecurity?
By identifying that it is our responsibility to keep our country secure. Like they say, if you see something, say something. Not only that, you are the first line of defense in your community. Our soldiers cannot be in every community at the same time. So it is our responsibility to work out our defense strategy before the police and the armed forces comes to support us. So that's the responsibility of all Nigerians.
You know, the concept of if you see something, say something. Some will say it could be very dangerous.
Yes,
because,
especially for a corrupt security system.
Yeah, because we got a story of a whistleblower who was supposed to help the system, however, was arrested and kept in prison. And recently, he won an award in prison.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
So you want to be very careful when you see something. You might just turn your eye to the other side. Because if you say something, you might want to prove what you are saying.
But if you don't say something now, when it's your turn, nobody will say anything.
But when you say something, how do you trust the person you are telling?
Well, I think it's a gradual process. Our security people are also realizing that corruption doesn't pay. Because it also affects them. Look at the number of soldiers that were killed recently. So if you continue to be a saboteur within the security system, eventually you are going to do yourself. And it's not, about the entire organization alone. But the most important thing, let us do the right thing, and the security system will work itself out.
All right, at Livingston 7675, at Livingston 7675, that's the handle on the app X. He says, Chike, my brother, they used our soldiers to save Talon. But when IPOB was killing people in the East, they called it Python dance and killed innocent people too. Where is the justice? Well, over to you, sir.
Well, that's a political statement, and that is also emotional.
Well, sentimental, though.
Sentimental, yeah. Sentimental.
But out of every nonsense, there's still some sense in it.
Exactly.
So how do we address the sense there?
Well, we agree that when it comes to our internal security, there are issues which could be addressed. We are not saying that IPOB is, is right in what they are saying, because most of the victims of IPOB itself are even the Igbo people, and not Nigerians as a whole. That's where we have to sit back and think about it. If we are struggling for something, what about the casualties, that are coming up? So we need to think twice. In fact, I think it's getting to a stage for us to sit down in this country and talk. Whoever don't want to do, let them go. Whoever wants to stay, let there be a rule for staying. So it's a matter of time. We are going to get to that stage.
So it's not just about selective
justice or whatever.
Selective justice.
No.
It's just, is it a systemic problem?
It is. And that's why we need to sit down and resolve it once and for all. And stick by our decision that should this country remain, if it doesn't, if we don't want to remain, let us go peacefully. If we want to remain, let's stick by the rule, and do what we are supposed to do in order to move and progress.
Nnamdi Kanu, who is now who is in prison now, has always called for a referendum. However, his mode of operation in getting a referendum, many have faulted that he was violent about it and unintelligent about that move. But what we are now saying is a referendum will suffice, as it were, to ask Nigerians the question, should this be or should this not be? But when you look at it entirely, the beginning of the solution to the problem that we have at hand as a country is, many have said, a cross-section of Nigerians have said, okay, it is not about going each other's way. Why not balkanize the 36-state structure and have only 6 states, which includes the 6 regions, and then run a regional system of government with only 6 governors, and then reduce the cost of governance? Would that be a right move to make?
I mean, that has been tried before in this country. We remember the 3 regions and something. But again, there were agitation for expansion and for inclusiveness.
And that might be during the times of ignorance. It worked for us at that time until the military came and then punctuated that. So if it worked, we could go back.
Even before the military came, remember, we already have the 4th.
The Midwest.
The Midwest.
Yeah.
And that expansion would have continued gradually. It may not be under any decree that we first had 12 states and then 19 and then 36. Even the 36 we are unable to manage as it is now, because let's face it, some states are not viable. So if you now ask everybody to go their way, some states will become problems on the other. If they cannot sustain themselves, how will they survive? Okay. But I think we need to think through it intellectually. We need to get together and look at all of those pros and cons. Is 6 regional states going to be viable? If that is the case, then how many local government? Because people, especially the smaller group, will still continue to agitate, for freedom or independence under whatever system that we are, that we are adopting. So we need to think through it very, very well. There's not going to be any perfect system anywhere.
Yeah, of course, there's no utopian society.
So are we ready to face the reality, of that? Because it means we are still going to be managing our relationships at whatever level.
But you can only tolerate what is bad.
Well, I mean, it all depends. Look at the issue of Nnamdi Kanu that we have referred to.
Yes.
About the issue of conducting a plebiscite.
The referendum, yeah.
The referendum, where do we... Quite a number of Igbos are in the diaspora. Even in the local diaspora, living in Lagos, living in Ibadan, living everywhere. Are you now going to marginalize all of those individuals in conducting your referendum? I mean, somebody like you, I'm sure that you are here, you are part of here already.
Well,
and whatever it is, but your roots still remain in the East.
Yeah, but I was born and brought up here.
Okay.
So I can claim Ibadan.
And you can still claim Enugu or whichever one.
Well, I'm still an Onitsha man.
So it's going to be a lot of
Herculean task.
Herculean task, exactly. But one thing I can tell you is that majority of the Easterners don't support Nnamdi Kanu's strategy and tactics. Because look at the number of casualties that are caused by, it is affecting businesses, it is affecting relations, it is affecting virtually, the lifestyle of everybody. So, and when he was carrying out his something, because that's one of the things that I don't support. People don't think objectively. Especially about justice.
Yeah.
If you look at the number, the quantum of destruction in Lagos, did they affect only Lagosians? It affected everybody staying in Lagos. So if you are talking about justice, that's where justice should also begin. Okay? So we have to face the reality about the situation in our country and talk the truth to ourselves. All
right, there's still more. We have more messages here. We have Ibro at Ibro_is_a_saint. Okay, Ibro is a saint. Okay, I want to find out some interesting names on the app X. He says, Doctor, simple question: can the coup plotters run? Okay, can the coup plotters run enter Nigeria now and start trouble?
Where will they enter? Where will they enter to? When Nigeria is already meeting them on their grounds and arresting them, it will be difficult.
All right, last question here from at Omini Plenty 1 is saying, Chike, all these grammar no dey full belle. When fuel reach 1,500 because Benin border close small, now we go suffer am. Tell government make them leave big man matter, face bandits where they chop our children. Well, that's from Omini Plenty. He's giving an advice here,
So
as
he's
it were.
expressing his opinions too.
Okay. Well, thank you all for your messages there. We are running out of time, but Dr. Eshola, any final thoughts from you?
Yes, I think the most important challenge that is facing us is internal security. What is happening is in Benin Republic is their own internal security, and we are assisting them in resolving it. But our own is very, very important. But our own internal security goes beyond what the armed forces alone can resolve for us. It is also in our hands, and we don't have any excuses now that some bandits are coming from Nigeria or from they are within us. Let us fish them out and let us deal with them. If we don't tell ourselves what is happening to those kidnapped girls and how we rescue them and whatever is done to the people that are doing it, it will continue that way. Let us deal with them once and for all and face our security challenge in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Dr. Eshola. But I have
pleasure.
2 interesting questions here, but because of time, you might not be responding to it, but I'll just read them out. It says, this from Aisha. It says, my brother is a soldier fighting bandits. They have not paid his allowance for 4 months, yet they found money to fly to Benin. How is that fair? Well, I can't substantiate that. I don't know how much or how far the military has been paid, and I don't pay them their salary. I don't have their payroll, so I won't be able to answer that. And Shegun here at Shege on the app is saying, tell that professor if Nigeria Army fit stop coup in Benin, make them come stop unknown gunmen for Southeast first. True. Well, I think we touched on that too. Thank you, Dr. Olushola Eshola, for joining us on the agenda this morning.
My pleasure.
I hope to have you for more interesting and intelligent discourse very soon. All right, thank you all for being there. I am Chike Obogu. From here in the studio, I say stay informed and stay safe.